The mirror lied, or perhaps it told the cruelest truth. Eleanor Voss stared into its unforgiving surface, her once radiant eyes now clouded with the haze of 85 years, and felt a sob catch in her throat like a forgotten line from a long-ago script. "Make me look like I once did," she whispered to the young makeup artist hovering nearby, her voice trembling with the weight of memories that fame had abandoned decades ago. In that dim-lit dressing room of the community theater, where the air smelled of mothballs and faded dreams, Eleanor's hands shook as she clutched the edge of the vanity. The girl, barely 20, with wide eyes and a ponytail that bounced like youthful optimism, hesitated. "Like, in your movies, ma'am? The glamorous ones from the 50s. Eleanor nodded, her mind flashing back to the golden era when spotlights chased her every step, when directors begged for her smile, and audiences whispered her name in awe. But now, the world had moved on, leaving her in this small town hall, auditioning for a bit part in a local play because loneliness had become her only co-star. She had been the queen of silver screens, starring in epics of love and loss, her face plastered on billboards from Hollywood to New York. Yet here she was, forgotten, her accolades gathering dust in an attic trunk. As the makeup brush danced across her wrinkled skin, Eleanor closed her eyes, letting the sensations pull her into the past. She remembered her first big break at 22, in Whispers of the Heart, where she played a heartbroken ingenue who defied societal chains for true love. The critics had raved, calling her performance a symphony of emotion. Offers flooded in, and soon she was rubbing shoulders with legends Bogart, Hepburn, even a flirtatious wink from Cary Grant at a gala. Life was a whirlwind of premieres, parties, and passionate affairs that burned bright but left scars. But fame, that fickle lover, had turned cold. By the 70s, roles dried up as youth became the currency, and Eleanor's attempts at reinvention stage work, television cameos fizzled into obscurity. Her husband, a producer who promised eternity, left her for a younger starlet, taking their fortune and her confidence. Children? None. The spotlight had demanded all her time. Now, in this quiet retirement, she volunteered at the theater to feel alive again, to hear the echo of applause, even if it was polite claps from a sparse crowd. The makeup girl, whose name was Lily, worked diligently, applying foundation to smooth the lines time had etched. "You're still beautiful, Ms. Voss," Lily said softly, her voice laced with genuine admiration. "I watched your films in film class. You were incredible." Eleanor opened her eyes, meeting Lily's gaze in the mirror. For a moment, the kindness pierced the armor of regret she'd built. "Beauty fades, dear. But the stories we tell, they linger." She paused, her heart aching with the truth of it. How many nights had she lain awake, replaying scenes from her life, wondering if any of it mattered now? As Lily blended eyeshadow, evoking the smoky allure of Eleanor's heyday, a knock echoed at the door. The director, a harried man in his 40s named Tom, poked his head in. "5 minutes, Eleanor. You're up next for the grandmother role." Grandmother. The word stung like a slap. In her prime, she'd played lovers, warriors, icons. Now, reduced to archetypes of age. But she straightened her spine, drawing on the resilience that had carried her through scandals and heartbreaks. "Thank you, Tom," she replied, her voice steadying into the commanding tone that once silenced rooms. Lily stepped back, beaming. "There. You look just like in Eternal Flames, fierce and unforgettable." Eleanor turned to the mirror again, and for a fleeting second, she saw her younger self, the cascade of auburn hair now silver, the sharp cheekbones softened, but the fire in her eyes unchanged. It was enough. She rose, smoothing her simple dress, and walked toward the stage, each step a defiance against oblivion. The audition hall was modest, rows of folding chairs half filled with aspiring actors and a few locals. Tom sat at a table with a script, nodding as Eleanor took center stage under the harsh fluorescent lights. "Whenever you're ready," he said. She inhaled deeply, channeling the essence of the character wise elder imparting life lessons to wayward youth. But as she began her monologue, words poured out not from the page, but from her soul. "In the twilight of our days, we chase shadows of what we were, but true light comes from within." Her voice rose, filling the space with raw emotion, drawing gasps from the audience. Halfway through, she faltered, a line escaping her. Panic flickered, but she improvised, weaving in a personal anecdote from her Oscar-nominated role in Shadows of Yesterday. The room fell silent, then erupted in applause. Tom leaned forward, eyes wide. "That was extraordinary, Eleanor. You've got the part." As she exited the stage, heart pounding with a joy she hadn't felt in years, Lily rushed up, hugging her impulsively. "See? You're still a star." But in the quiet corridor, doubt crept back. Was this pity or genuine recognition? Eleanor didn't know, but for now, it warmed the chill of isolation. That evening, back in her modest bungalow overlooking a sleepy lake, Eleanor poured a glass of wine and sat by the window. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues of regret and hope. She thought of calling her estranged sister, the only family left, but the phone remained untouched. Instead, she pulled out an old photo album, flipping through glossy images of red carpets and adoring fans. One photo stopped her, a candid shot with her mentor, the legendary director Harlan Reed, who had discovered her. "You'll shine forever, Ellie," he'd said. But Harlan was gone now, like so many others. Tears welled as she traced his face, wondering if her light had truly dimmed. A sudden ring of the doorbell jolted her. Who could it be at this hour? She wiped her eyes and opened the door to find a young man, disheveled and nervous, holding a bouquet of wilted roses. "Miss Voss? I'm Alex, from the theater. I had to tell you, your audition today inspired me. I've been struggling with my own dreams, and seeing you, it gave me hope." Eleanor blinked, touched. Alex was an understudy, barely scraping by, much like she had at his age. "Come in, dear," she said, stepping aside. Over tea, he shared his story-rejected auditions, family doubts, and she listened, offering advice forged from her own battles. As midnight approached, Alex left with renewed fire, and Eleanor felt a spark reignite in her own chest. Perhaps fame had forgotten her, but humanity hadn't. She retired to bed, dreaming of spotlights not for glory, but for connection. The next morning brought unexpected news. Tom called. "Eleanor, the play's producer saw a clip of your audition online. Someone recorded it. They're talking about expanding your role. This could be big." Her heart raced. Big? At her age? But as she dressed for rehearsal, a mix of excitement and fear swirled. What if it all crumbled again? At the theater, the cast buzzed with energy. Lily greeted her with fresh makeup supplies, and Tom outlined changes. Her character now had a backstory mirroring Eleanor's Lithia, faded star seeking redemption. "It's perfect for you," he said. During breaks, Eleanor bonded with the younger actors, sharing tales that made them laugh and cry. One girl, Sarah, confessed her fears of aging out of roles. "How do you keep going?" she asked. Eleanor smiled wistfully. "By remembering that every wrinkle tells a story worth telling." As rehearsals progressed, Eleanor's confidence grew. She suggested tweaks to the script, infusing it with authentic emotion that elevated the entire production. The director listened, and soon, the play transformed from amateur fare to something poignant. But amidst the highs, a shadow loomed. One afternoon, while sorting props, Eleanor found an old newspaper clipping tucked in a box, a review from her last film, harsh and dismissive. "Voss's star has fallen. Time to exit stage left." The words stung anew, dredging up buried insecurities. She confided in Lily, who hugged her. "That's the past. Look at what you're creating now." Inspired, Eleanor decided to host a workshop for the cast, teaching classic techniques. The session was a hit, fostering camaraderie and reminding her of her value beyond youth. As opening night neared, tension built. Would the audience see her as a relic or a revelation? Eleanor practiced tirelessly, her body aching but her spirit alight. In a quiet moment, she looked in the mirror again. "You've come far," she whispered to her reflection. The makeup made her glow, but the real transformation was inside. Yet, just days before the premiere, a twist arrived unannounced. A letter slipped under her door. "Dear Eleanor, I've followed your career since childhood. I have something important to share. Meet me at the theater tomorrow." A fan. Curiosity piqued. She went. Waiting in the lobby was an elderly woman, elegant and poised, with eyes that mirrored Eleanor's own. "I'm Margaret," she said. "Your half-sister. Our father never told you about me." Shock rippled through Eleanor. "A sibling? Hidden all these years?" Margaret explained. Their father, a studio executive, had an affair, keeping Margaret's secret to protect Eleanor's rising star. Now, in her twilight years, Margaret sought connection, inspired by Eleanor's enduring passion. Tears flowed as they embraced, decades of lost time melting away. This revelation shifted everything. Eleanor wasn't as alone as she thought. Margaret's presence added depth to her performance, infusing it with newfound gratitude for family's unexpected gifts. With this emotional boost, rehearsals soared. The play, now titled Echoes of Eternity, promised to touch hearts. On opening night, the theater filled unexpectedly. Word had spread via social media. Eleanor peeked from backstage, nerves electric. Lily touched up her makeup one last time. "Like you once were and always will be," she said. As the curtain rose, Eleanor stepped into the light, ready to reclaim her story. The applause thundered through the theater like a long-lost ovation, wrapping Eleanor in a warmth she hadn't felt since her heyday premieres. But as she took her bow, hand in hand with the cast, her eyes scanned the crowd and locked on Margaret in the front row, tears glistening, a silent promise of bonds reforged. In that moment, the forgotten actress realized fame's fickle embrace paled against the enduring glow of human connection. Backstage chaos ensued. Hugs, congratulations, flashes from local photographers. Tom pulled her aside, grinning ear to ear. "Eleanor, that was magical. We've got offers for extensions already, maybe even a tour." She laughed, a sound light and genuine, but exhaustion tugged at her bones. At 85, the adrenaline high came with a price. Lily helped her remove the makeup, revealing the lines that told her true tale. "You were phenomenal," Lily whispered, "like a legend reborn." Margaret joined them, carrying a bouquet of fresh roses, vibrant red, symbolizing passion renewed. "I'm so proud, sister," she said, her voice cracking. They sat in the dressing room, sharing stories late into the night. Margaret revealed more: letters from their father, photos of a shared childhood home Eleanor never knew. It was a twist that unraveled old wounds, stitching them with threads of forgiveness. "I always admired you from afar," Margaret confessed. "Your films got me through tough times. But I was afraid to reach out, thought you'd see me as an intruder." Eleanor squeezed her hand. "Your family. That's all that matters now." The conversation flowed like a river long dammed, carrying away isolation's debris. For the first time in years, Eleanor felt anchored, not adrift. The following days blurred into a whirlwind. The play's success drew media attention, a local news feature, then a podcast interview where Eleanor spoke candidly about aging in Hollywood. "Fame forgets, but heart remembers," she said, her words resonating online, garnering shares and comments from fans old and new. One comment stood out: "Ms. Voss, you inspired my grandmother to pursue acting at 70. It touched her deeply, reinforcing the human value beyond spotlights." Amid the buzz, Eleanor invited Margaret to stay at her bungalow. They spent mornings by the lake, sipping coffee and unraveling family secrets. Margaret shared her own life: a quiet one as a librarian, married young, widowed early, no children. "I lived vicariously through your glamour," she admitted. Eleanor chuckled, "And I envied the normalcy I never had." Their bond grew, a gentle twist that softened the edges of regret. But not all was serene. During a rehearsal for the extended run, Eleanor's health faltered, a dizzy spell mid-scene. The cast fussed. Tom insisted on a doctor. "Just fatigue," she brushed off, but deep down, fear whispered of time's relentless march. The doctor confirmed: "Minor arrhythmia, manageable with rest and meds." "Slow down, Ms. Voss," he advised. "Slow down." When life was finally accelerating again, she confided in Alex, the young actor from before, who had become a confidant. "I'm scared this revival is just an illusion," she said over lunch. Alex shook his head. "It's real because you're real. You've taught us all to embrace our stories, flaws and all." Inspired, Eleanor pushed forward, incorporating her vulnerability into the role, making it even more poignant. The play evolved, drawing larger crowds, including a surprise visit from a former co-star, now a producer in his 70s. "Ellie, you haven't lost a step," he boomed, hugging her. His name was Victor, once her on-screen love interest in 3 films. They reminisced about wild shoots and stolen kisses off set. "I always regretted not fighting for you," he admitted softly. The confession stirred old embers. Victor had been married then, their affair brief but intense. Now widowed, he hinted at rekindling. Dinner sometime? Eleanor hesitated, glancing at Margaret for support. Her sister nodded encouragingly. Why not? Eleanor agreed, and their dinner was a dance of nostalgia, laughter over mishaps, tears for lost friends. Victor's presence added another layer, a twist of potential romance in her autumn years. As weeks passed, the play toured nearby towns, Eleanor's name buzzing again. She mentored Lily, who dreamed of Hollywood. Chase it, but hold on to your soul, Eleanor advised. One night, after a standing ovation, a young fan approached a teenager named Mia, clutching a vintage poster. You're my idol. Can you sign this? Eleanor did, her hand steady. Mia's enthusiasm reminded her of her own beginnings, closing a circle of inspiration. But twists kept coming. During a matinee, Eleanor spotted a man in the audience who looked familiar, her ex-husband, gray and frail. Post-show, he approached. Eleanor, I came to apologize. I was a fool. Anger flared, then softened. Why now, she asked. Dying, he replied bluntly. Cancer. Wanted to make amends. The revelation hit hard, a twist of mortality's cruelty. They talked in a cafe, hashing out betrayals. I loved you, but fame corrupted me, he said. Forgiveness didn't come easy, but Eleanor offered it, for her own peace. Go with grace, she told him. This encounter deepened her performance, infusing it with raw authenticity. The cast noticed, rallying around her. Margaret became her rock, attending every show. We're in this together, she said. As the tour wound down, Eleanor reflected by the lake with Victor, their hands intertwined. Life's given me a second act, she mused. He kissed her forehead. And it's your best yet. Yet, uncertainty loomed. A big producer called, offering a cameo in a film about aging stars. Tempting, but would it reopen old wounds? Eleanor pondered, weighing glory against contentment. With Margaret and new friends, she felt whole. One evening, Alex shared his breakthrough, a role in an indie film, thanks to her workshop. You changed my life, he said. Tears brimmed. Her legacy wasn't in reels, but in lives touched. As winter approached, the play closed to rave reviews. Eleanor hosted a cast party at home, laughter echoing. In the midst, she raised a toast to forgotten dreams rediscovered and the humanity that binds us. The night ended with hugs and promises to stay connected. Alone later, she looked in the mirror, not at makeup, but at her true self. You've shone brightly, she whispered. But fate had more in store. A letter arrived, an invitation to a Lifetime Achievement Award at a film festival. Her heart soared, recognition at last. With Margaret by her side, she prepared, excitement mingling with trepidation. The festival was in Los Angeles, a return to roots. As the plane descended, memories flooded billboards, studios, heartbreaks. At the hotel, Victor joined them, offering support. This is your moment, he said. The ceremony glittered with stars young and old. When her name was called, the applause was deafening. On stage, Eleanor accepted the award, voice steady. Fame may forget, but stories endure through the hearts we touch. Thank you for remembering. The speech went viral, inspiring articles on aging gracefully. Backstage, a producer approached. We want your life story for a biopic. Overwhelmed, she consulted Margaret. Do it, her sister urged. Share your truth. Eleanor agreed, on condition she consult on the scripto, highlight humanity over glamour. As they returned home, bonds strengthened. Victor proposed a trip together, and she accepted, open to love anew. Life felt full, but health nagged. Another dizzy spell prompted tests, nothing serious, but a reminder to cherish time. She started writing memoirs, with Lily's help typing. Each chapter unearthed emotions, healing old scars. One day, Mia the fan emailed, starting drama school, thanks to Eleanor's influence. Smiling, Eleanor replied, shine your light. As spring bloomed, she looked forward to family, friends, perhaps more roles. But a final twist awaited. During a memoir session, Margaret revealed a box from their father, unseen scripts he wrote for Eleanor, never produced. Reading them, Eleanor wept. They were masterpieces of love and loss. Inspired, she pitched them to the biopic team. Revive them, she said. Interest sparked a new project, blending past and present. Eleanor's journey continued, a testament to resilience. The award's golden gleam faded into everyday life, but its echo lingered in Eleanor's soul, a reminder that recognition, when late, tasted sweeter for the wait. Yet as she unpacked in her bungalow, Margaret by her side sorting mementos, a sharp pain in her chest halted her, a whisper of fragility that no spotlight could illuminate. "It's nothing," she gasped, but Margaret's worried eyes mirrored the fear Eleanor had long buried. Time was not infinite, even for stars reborn. The doctor visit confirmed it. The arrhythmia had worsened, requiring a pacemaker. Surgery loomed, a daunting prospect at her age. "You'll be fine," the specialist assured, but doubt not. Victor flew in immediately, holding her hand through consultations. "We're in this together," he vowed, his presence a balm against anxiety. Pre-surgery days blurred with preparations. Eleanor reflected on her life triumphs, failures, the humanity woven through. She called Alex, now filming his indie project. "Keep creating," she urged. He promised to visit soon. Lily stopped by with homemade soup, sharing dreams of her own audition tape. "You taught me to be fearless," she said. Their bond, mentor and protege, underscored Eleanor's impact. Margaret, ever the pillar, organized everything. "After this, we're taking that trip," Victor suggested, "see the world like we never did as kids." The idea sparked joy. Eleanor imagined beaches, cities, laughter life beyond stages. Surgery day arrived crisp and clear. As they wheeled her in, she clutched a locket with photos of her parents, Margaret, and Victor. "See you on the other side," she joked weakly. Waking post-op, groggy but alive, relief flooded. "Success," the nurse beamed. Visitors streamed in, Tom with play scripts, Sarah with flowers, even her ex-husband's son, bearing regrets and well wishes. Recovery was slow, bedridden days forcing introspection. Eleanor dove into her memoirs, dictating to Margaret. Chapters flowed. Early struggles in a small town, the thrill of discovery by Harlan Reed, the intoxicating rise. One revelation surprised even her. A hidden affair with a co-star that inspired her best performance, but cost friendships. Writing it freed her, turning pain into prose. As strength returned, she walked the lake path with Victor, their talks deepening. "I love you, Ellie, always have," he confessed under starry skies. "I love you too," she replied, sealing it with a kiss. Love at 85 felt pure, untainted by ambition. The biopic progressed, with Eleanor approving casting a young actress for her prime, herself for cameos. The scripts from her father were integrated, a poignant twist honoring legacy. Mia visited, bubbling with school stories. "Your speech changed me," she said. Eleanor gifted her an old costume, Paisea, symbol of passing the torch. But health setbacks persisted, fatigue, minor infections. Aging's plot twists, she quipped to friends. To combat, she hosted gathering story nights where cast shared tales. Laughter healed, reinforcing community. One evening, a surprise, a documentary crew arrived, wanting to film her recovery and revival. "Your story inspires resilience," the director said. Eleanor agreed, cameras capturing candid moments, walks with Margaret, dinners with Victor, workshops with youth. The process unearthed more, letters from fans worldwide, touched by her festival speech. One from a retired actress, "You gave me courage to perform again." Her heart swelled. Fame's return wasn't about ego, but empowerment. As summer warmed, they embarked on the trip, Italy first, cobblestone streets echoing with history. Eleanor marveled at ruins, drawing parallels to her career crumbled, yet enduring. In Rome, Victor proposed properly, ring glinting. "Marry me, Ellie." Tears of joy. "Yes." Margaret cheered, planning a small wedding back home. But midway, news hit. The biopic greenlit, with major stars attached. Excitement buzzed, but Eleanor tempered it. "It's not the end goal, living is." Back home, wedding preparations intertwined with memoir deadlines. The ceremony was intimate, lakefront, friends and family. Vows exchanged, rings slipped on a culmination of second chances. Honeymoon in Paris, city of lights mirroring her inner glow. They strolled Seine banks, reminiscing. Yet, a health scare, shortness of breath during a tour. Rushed to clinic stable, but warning, pace yourself. It grounded her. Returning, she focused on balance, writing, mentoring, loving. The documentary premiered locally, drawing crowds. Viewers wept, applauded. Powerful, reviews said. Inspired, Eleanor started a foundation for aging artists' grants, workshops. Alex joined as ambassador, his film winning awards. Twists kept unfolding. A grandchild from her ex-husband's side reached out, seeking connection. Meetings bloomed into family expansion. Margaret moved in nearby, their sisterhood unbreakable. As fall leaves fell, Eleanor looked in the mirror not seeking youth, but appreciating wisdom. Makeup enhanced, but spirit shone. The biopic filming began, Eleanor on set advising. Watching her younger self portrayed stirred emotions: pride, sorrow, acceptance. One day, a scene recreated her Oscar loss. Tears flowed, cathartic. Victor's support unwavering. "You're my star." With the foundation thriving, she hosted events, speakers sharing stories of perseverance. Mia's graduation, Eleanor as guest speaker. "Embrace every act of life," she said. Applause echoed, full circle. But winter brought challenge. Victor's health declined, arthritis worsening. Roles reversed, Eleanor caring for him. Their love deepened in vulnerability. Memoirs published to acclaim, bestseller lists, tours virtual due to age. Interviews delved into humanity. Aging isn't ending, it's evolving. Fans responded, sharing personal victories. As the year closed, Eleanor reflected, from forgotten to celebrated, not for fame, but for heart. Yet, a final revelation. In father's scripts, a hidden note: "For my daughters, may you find each other." Tears with Margaret, closure. Life's tapestry complete, Eleanor embraced tomorrow. The biopic's premiere lit up Hollywood Boulevard like the stars Eleanor once walked among. But as she stepped onto the red carpet arm in arm with Victor, Margaret flanking her, a quiet realization dawned. This wasn't a comeback, but a graceful finale to a life richly lived. Flashbulbs popped, cheers rose, yet her heart beat steady, grounded in the love surrounding her. "You've earned this," Victor whispered, and for the first time, she believed it without reservation. Inside the theater, the film unfolded, her story told with nuance, blending glamour's highs with loneliness's depths. Audiences gasped at twists: the secret affair, father's hidden family, her resilient revival. When credits rolled, standing ovation thundered, tears streaking faces. Post-screening Q&A, Eleanor spoke eloquently. "This isn't just my taillights, every soul who's felt forgotten. Remember, our worth isn't in applause, but in the lives we touch." The after-party buzzed with industry titans offering roles, but she politely declined most. "I'm content," she said, prioritizing health and home. Reviews glowed. Voss's biopic is a humanist triumph. Oscars buzz followed nominations for screenplay, drawing from her father's works. Back home, life settled into serene rhythm. Foundation events flourished, mentoring sessions packed with eager youth. One mentee, a 60-something widow named Clara, shared, "You showed me it's never too late." They bonded over coffee, Clara becoming a friend. Victor's condition stabilized with therapy, their days filled with quiet joys: gardening, reading aloud. Margaret hosted family dinners, now including the newfound grandchild, young and vibrant. A surprise, the Oscar win for Best Adapted Screenplay. Eleanor accepted via video. "To my father, for the stories that connected us all." The award sat on her mantle, symbol of closure. But health's fragility persisted. A fall led to a hip fracture, surgery again. Recovery tested her, but support poured in. Lily organizing meals, Alex video calls. In bed, she revised foundation plans, expanding online for global reach. Clara visited daily, revealing her own twist, a former extra in Eleanor's films. "I admired you then. Inspire me now." Laughter shared, bonds forged. As she healed, spring brought renewal. Wedding anniversaries celebrated with a lake picnic, toasts to endurance. The documentary expanded into a series, profiling other aging artists. Eleanor hosted episodes, voices amplified. Mia's career took off, a role in a series. "Thanks to you," she messaged. Eleanor's influence rippled, articles dubbing her icon of resilience. Yet, introspection grew. Evenings by the fire, she pondered mortality. "What legacy do I leave?" she asked Victor. "Your heart," he replied. "In us all." A poignant twist. A letter from Harlan reads estate unpublished letters praising her as his muse. You made my visions live. Tears flowed, affirming her impact. Inspired, she donated memorabilia to a museum, exhibit opening with fanfare. There, she met fans spanning generations, stories of inspiration pouring out. One elderly man, your film saved me during war. Humbling, human connections. As summer peaked, a family vacation, grandchild included. Laughter on beaches, stories under stars. Health held, but awareness of time sharpened appreciation. Back, Foundation Gala raised funds. Eleanor keynote. Age with grace, live with purpose. Applause warmed her soul. Fall brought memoir sequels, fan letters compiled. Victor's surprise, a home theater, screening her films. Nostalgia sweet, not bitter. Winter holidays, home filled with loved ones. Toasts to new beginnings. But a cough lingered, pneumonia. Hospital stay, fear gripping. Visitors rallied. Prayers, stories. She fought, emerging stronger, vowing to cherish moments. Post-recovery, she wrote a play her own, about sisterhood and second chances. Tom directed, cast including Lily, Alex. Rehearsals vibrant, her directing from sidelines. Opening night, house packed. Performance moved audiences to tears, standing ovation. Critics, Voss's swan song profoundly human. Tour offers came, but she chose select shows. As the year turned, Eleanor looked ahead. More writing, mentoring, loving. In the mirror, she saw not loss, but gain wisdom's beauty. Life's twists had woven a tapestry of meaning. With family, friends, she embraced the unknown, heart full. The end wasn't near, stories continued.